You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. Very pleased to be joined in studio by another new Hudco hometown hero, a guy that LSU fans are pretty fired up to see back in the purple and gold for 2022. It is senior linebacker Micah Baskerville. How are you, dude? Good to have you in here, man.
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm going to get you close to that mic. Pull that, if you would. Yeah, it's on a jib there. These mics, you got to be like right up on them. So,
okay.
Thanks for coming in. Great to see you. Let's start with like the most obvious one that everyone's gonna ask is, all right, so why'd you decide to come back? Could have gone pro. Yeah. You made the decision to return. What went into that decision?
Man, just being in Tiger Stadium is a feeling that, that something I just wanted to really cherish and appreciate one more time, and with my teammates, And when Coach Kelly came, we talked and stuff, and I really believed in his plan that he had for us. So, it was pretty much, I was going to come back.
How long did it take you to make the decision? Like, how long did you really think about it, talk to family, coaches, all that stuff? How long did you take?
It actually took the first day of school. We had a team meeting, and he talked to us. He said some couple of things of how he wanted to do things and stuff, and I really liked it. So right after the team meeting, I had announced that I was going to come back.
Did watching Damone this year have the type of season he did? Did that influence your decision at all? Just knowing that he went from a guy, just from a draft perspective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you lead the nation in tackles.
Yep.
Like, Damone made himself a lot of money this year.
He did.
I'm be very interested to see how he does at Senior Bowl, go run at the Combine. But Micah, he's got a chance, right? If he runs well, team falls in love with him, he might bump up into late round one. He's got a shot at that. Like, did his play this year? Did you look at that and go, I could be that guy in 2022?
Yeah, I definitely looked at that too, and how he, how in this one season he really changed his game and everything to be the leading tackler. And then when winning with Coach Kelly, we win games, you get drafted higher too. So with that combination, I think that it'll work out pretty well for me.
And I don't think it's just Damone either. I mean, it seems like this is kind of a trend where senior linebackers come back at LSU. We can go back 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years, and they end up having those big senior seasons. So what is it that happens from freshman year, I guess, to senior year from a maturity standpoint on the field that allows those guys to have success as they get there later on? Is it learning the defense or the league or what?
I think it's the growing pains, I would call it, from then to senior, knowing the experience, what to do and not to do. And, after 4 years, I got a lot of experience of what to do and not to do. So, I'm really prepared, I feel.
Dude, you actually, at the end of the 2020 season, right? COVID was such a, that had to be brutal, that whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, the delayed start, the quarantine, the protocol, all that stuff. But late in the season, when you were inserted, is really when that defense started to stabilize a little bit. What happened that year that allowed you to, I don't know if you'd agree with that, but it really seemed like in that last month, when you started playing more, it stabilized the middle of that D. What happened there?
I just was actually waiting my turn, he had a guy come in, Jabril Cobbs, and then, so, I wasn't really, I was just waiting my time, knew I was going to get my opportunity. When I got it, I was going to make the best because I know what type of player I am.
You mentioned waiting your time. How difficult is that?
Oh, that's tough, man. That's one thing that they don't speak about in the recruiting process. You think you're going to come in and play right away and stuff, but, sometimes for some guys, it takes a little while of development, maturity, and things like that to become the best version of you.
Micah Baskerville is in studio with us, LSU senior linebacker. Not only waiting your turn, man, but you're kind of like a unicorn in that this could be your 5th year. A lot of guys don't play a 5th year. If I asked you, all right, you jump in the time machine, you go back to 2018 when you signed at LSU. If I said, all right, in 2022, 5 years from now, where are you? What do you say?
I would have thought I'd be in the league right now, to be honest.
Yeah? That's what most guys think, isn't it, Micah? Like, you come to a place like LSU, you're good enough to be recruited here. Like, you think 3 or 4 years, like, you're going to be in the NFL. So at what point did do you feel like, or have you, clearly you have learned patience?
It took a little minute. It took the older guys talking to me too, because we were actually stacked in the inside linebacker with Devin White, Pat Queen, Jacob Phillips. So learning from them guys, it really helped me. They were in my corner. I had other guys like Sadiq Charles that were talking to me. You straight. When it's your time, you're gonna take over. So I really believed in that, and now it's I feel like it's that time.
When you were stacked behind all those guys you just mentioned, which is incredible, right? Devin White's a top 5 pick. Patrick Queen's a first rounder. Yeah. Jacob Phillips is starting in the league. Did you at any point think about leaving?
Yes, of course I did. But it was guys like in the coaching staff, Caleb Young and something like that talked to me every day. Really gave me words of encouragement. Like it's okay. Like you could go anywhere else and start, but you're here with the best. So just wait your turn. It's coming when you get in. Make the best of it. So that's all I did.
We got a couple of segments with Micah, so I want to talk in a little bit about next year and the staff and all, but I got a couple more as we talk about this. You also mentioned those guys, Devin White, Patrick Queen, Jacob Phillips. So I want to ask you about each of them. I want you to tell me what you've learned from each of those guys, right? Mm-hmm. So I say Devin White. What did you learn from Devin White?
Devin White, being a leader, taking over, being that vocal leader, when it's time to make a play, you make it. Just that dog mentality, really.
Patrick Queen,
he taught me more of like understanding the game. I feel he was a very smart player, so he really taught me like the scheme. Take like if you see this is what you do. These how you go through your steps, your read, stuff like that.
Jacob Phillips
just taught me how to hit. That's one thing.
He's a battering ram.
Well, that's one thing he loved, man. He come in there. He's gonna hit you. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna know it's him. So one thing he for sure always told me, be a little more powerful and explosive when taking on blocks and tackling.
When you talk about staying, and I mean, it stinks to wait your time, but where else are you going to get that type of mentorship and create those type of bonds and friendships? And look, let's be honest, all it takes is one season, maybe half of a season. Then
look at Patrick Queen.
Look at PQ, then a good showing at the combine, and you're right where you want to be. And coming from the baseball scenario, we have the minor league system, which sucks. It's a wait your time type feeling, right? And it's like, am I ever going to get there? Is it ever going to happen? I'll say this from experience because I was in the minor leagues for almost 4 years. When it happens, when you do get your opportunity and you had to grind and wait, boy, it's so much more special. Yeah. And you don't take it for granted. And when you play with a chip on your shoulder. And it's hard to beat those guys that are playing with chips on their shoulders. Yeah.
Micah Baskerville's with us here for another segment. We'll grab a quick break. And when we come back, do want to talk a little bit about the new staff. Want to talk about 2022, some new teammates, the linebacker room, the defense, all that. Micah's with us. He is a new HUDCO hometown hero. Glad to have done an NIL deal with Micah. And honestly, the way we explain how it works is one of our customers said, want to benefit Micah as a guy who decided to come back for his senior year. So when we redid their roof, they chose Micah, and so we reached out and did an NIL deal with Micah. So a portion of that sale, that roof replacement we did, is going directly to Micah. We'll do that with any student athlete who's interested. So any student athlete that if it's maybe it's a family member who's a lacrosse player at McNeese.
They don't have lacrosse at McNeese.
They don't.
No, you could just
if it's a diver at Loyola,
baseball at UL.
That too.
Yeah.
Anybody. Or if you're Micah Baskerville. We'll do it.
Look Micah up. Yeah, let's hook him up.
Man. Yeah, just because we've already done a deal with Micah, we could do others as well. So anybody who wants to benefit Micah Baskerville or any student athlete, that's the HUDCO Hometown Hero program. You can learn more at HUDCOroofing.com. Click the HUDCO Hometown Hero tab at the top, HUDCOroofing.com. All right, Matt, Ryan, and Micah Baskerville hanging out in studio with us here. We're actually in the break having some like Glory Days conversations as Micah was bemoaning the fact that Catholic High eliminated them not once but twice in the state playoffs. Hey, look, you can moan over there. That's what it is, huh? You're taking when Jack Besh was on with us last hour, you were taking shots at my alma mater.
Hey, man, he came over there. Where were you guys? Memorial? He came over to Memorial and just dominated the entire Chicago Bears team and talked noise the whole time. He runs his mouth quite a bit, doesn't he? Yeah.
Jack talks. Who's the biggest trash talker on the team? Every team's got him.
Yeah, they got that one guy you want to punch in the face at practice.
Well, really, the biggest was me and Damone. we will always talk trash. That's just our way of getting the defense going.
Right.
I feel, and especially in game 2, letting guys know we're here, our presence. So like, yeah, we talked a lot of trash at practice and in game.
Dude, you know what was funny? Did you see the story? Because obviously we're on the 19 team with Burrow. Did you see the story where Burrow, like they printed it this week? It was an article, I think, in The Athletic, where apparently he told Devin White to shut the F up. And he said, like, I'm gonna punch you in the effing face if you don't shut up. Like,
Did he run his mouth a lot? Was Joe that dude?
Joe?
Was he that dude?
Joe was a guy that wouldn't let anybody, run over him. He was really a chill dude, but when you start messing with him, he ain't gonna just take it. He gonna come back too with something.
What is it like watching some of those guys you played with? I mean, Joe in his second year, Jamar set every rookie receiving record, 1,400 yards. It's incredible. Like watching these guys you played with pop the way they have is like this early in their careers. What's it like watching this?
I mean, it really just shows the work that they put in from starting at LSU. Those guys were really putting in a lot of work in the film room, understanding. So when they got to the league, it was nothing. They changed. They've been doing the same thing. So it was like, it was just next level.
Are you surprised at the amount of success? I mean, even going back to like Justin Jefferson and from last year setting all the records, Clyde obviously. I mean, is it surprising any of those guys? You're like, man, I knew he was good, but wow.
Not really. I mean, I know all those guys would do something in the league because we're LSU, we're the best. So they're gonna break records. They're just things that LSU produce.
Wow.
Let's turn page a little bit to what's ahead. You did talk a little bit about the new staff, so let me get your impressions of your new head coach, of Brian Kelly. It's early, obviously, but what's been your impressions of Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly, to me, is a guy that really cares about his players. Everything that he does is about developing us, graduating champions. That's one thing he's big about, graduating champions, and yeah, that's pretty much.
So you had a conversation with him about returning, I would assume. How did that conversation go? What did he talk to you about?
He just talked to me about my goal coming back and what I had planned. And he asked me, like, what are those things I'm going to do to achieve it? And then he told me that he's going to help me, not only win games but graduate. He said that's the main thing, developing you as a young man. He said that comes first, because one day, football going to be done, and, you're going to have to be a leader and be there for your kids, your wife, and things like that. So he big about character. And so, his thing was going to build my character because, I got here off my skill, all that. But, when you have good character, that takes you another level.
Yeah. Your new defensive coordinator is Matt House, and you haven't met him yet.
No, I haven't.
Have you talked to him on the phone or anything?
Not yet. It's probably because, when I had made my decision, like, first day of school. But, sure, he's doing good things up there at the Chiefs. So,
right.
I like what I'm seeing.
It's hard not to, right? I mean, this guy's a linebackers coach of the team that's playing in the fourth straight AFC Championship game. It's kind of bonkers. So, but have you watched any film of his defenses, or do you know any of what the expectation's going to be stylistically, what you all are going to do?
No, sir. I haven't looked at anything yet.
When you're watching games, do you lock in on what the linebackers are doing, like for the Chiefs, for instance?
When I do watch games, I look at the linebackers, see how they using them. Like the rookie, number 54, Bowden. I done seen him. Yeah. They use him a lot. He been making big time plays. So I just been seeing. I like how they using their players.
Micah Baskerville's in studio with us. What about the linebacker room? The numbers there got really thin this offseason, obviously. So you coming back was massive. Mike Jones, we assume, he's back as well. And then they bring in West Weeks from Virginia. Let me ask you about, have you met West Weeks yet? I mean, that's a new guy. We talked to him on the show a couple weeks ago. What have been your, if you gotten to meet him yet? What's your
I met him. To me, he's pretty cool dude, locked in, when I see him while we're working, he getting that working for sure. I could tell that he's a hard-working dude. But besides that, that's pretty much all.
Was there another linebacker that transferred in as well?
He's the only guy.
Mike Jones had transferred in.
Right, so Mike was last year, and then Weeks.
Year, yeah.
I feel like there was another. Maybe.
What do you think are roles for guys in that linebacker room this year? I mean, there's huge opportunity, right, with Damone gone, but you back, and then there's some young guys. Well, what do you think the roles are for you all in that room?
I think my role is to be a leader. I feel like I have to be more of a communicated leader and talk with those guys. Mike Jones also too, teaching those guys how to play the game. You got Jared Small, another key guy. He had unfortunate season ending earlier, but he's a really good leader.
Where did he go to high school?
I don't have no clue.
No
No clue where he went to high
Did you
school.
remember?
Yeah, he went to Catholic.
No clue where he went to high school.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember him.
Broadmoor.
No, Broadmoor. It's so stupid. Hey, I asked this question. I've said this on the air over the years, but 10 years ago, we were at an LSU media day, and I was asking all the guys, like, hey, who's the young guy, like the athletic freak, who he does stuff on the field and you just go like, damn, like, wow. We haven't gotten to see him play. And everybody, like a handful of guys that I asked that question to, all said Kevin Minter. Well, Minter went on, I don't know if you remember Kevin, but he's still playing in the league with the Bucks. And Kevin went on to have a 130 tackle season, was an All-American on the 2012s. He was phenomenal. If I asked you that same question today, go, all right, Micah, you've been around for 5 years now. Who's a guy on the team that maybe we haven't seen realize potential, but you see him on the practice field, like, man, that guy's going to be good? Who is it?
I have to say Josh White. He's one of those guys, also had an injury. Didn't get to play this year, but he's one guy that's very fast, instinctual. He loves to hit, very powerful. And I think he can have a chance to really, explode when he has a chance.
What about on the offensive side?
Offensive side, I have to say it's kind of hard. We got a lot of good young guys on offense.
Well, the ones we saw last year that were young, like
The running backs.
Jack Malik, and you said you had the
Trey Bradford.
Trey Bradford.
You had Corey Kiner.
Like, who's somebody that we haven't heard?
No, all right. I'm gonna have to go with. That's kind of hard.
All right, think about it. Who do you hate to tackle?
Oh, okay. Well, it was Todd Davis Price. We used to always get into it at practice and just hit each other. So like he was one guy that I know, like, if I take this play off, I'm gonna fit it. So I gotta, go for sure.
Anybody coming that we should look out for? That running back room is going to be interesting.
It's gonna be nice. Noah Kane, he's coming.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, man. Noah Kane. Hopefully get John Emery back this year. Have him ready to roll as well. There's a we asked Jack Besh this question in the last hour, and I'll ask it to you too. The COVID year sucked. There's no way around it. Like 2020 was just for all the reasons. And then last year, halfway through the season, Coach O gets fired, and it was challenging, right? I mean, that's fair to say. How do you feel like when you're in as a team leader, when you're in the workouts, when you're around the guys? How would you describe the vibe or the mood, just the general feeling around the program right now, as opposed to what it was like in November?
Right now, it's a lot of like certainty. Like, we know what the future, we know what's coming. Like, we know what's expected. So guys got to know what they have to do. So they locked in doing it, bringing other guys in, stuff like that. But then when Coach O got fired, it was kind of a lot of uncertainty and like what to do now. Like, but some of the leaders on the team came together. Like, this doesn't mean that we're still playing for each other. And one thing I did like about Coach O, when he did that, he never changed. He stayed the same. He coached the same hardest as if he was staying there next year. Everything about he still brought the energy, and he still made sure like we was on top of school and all that stuff. So that's one thing that I do, liked about what he did on his way out.
You mentioned uncertainty. Before O was fired, was there talk of that, and did people kind of? I mean, I know you guys don't live in a vacuum, right? I mean, you hear everybody talking about this may happen, this may not happen, and that's got to be a weird situation. I've been on a team where a coach was maybe going to get fired and probably going to get fired. I can tell. I mean, it's a weird. It's just it's awkward. Like, you really don't know. I mean, are those discussions happening? Like, man, who's going to be our next coach?
Yeah, It happened. It was very weird. You know, guys was like, man, like y'all seen this? But then, you know, Coach O came team meeting was just like, you know, block out the noise. You know, we got a season to play. We got games to win. So, you know, for the most part, most guys really blocked out. But then, you know, you also had certain other guys that, you know, still talked about it, chatted a little.
Sure, clubhouse lawyers.
Yeah.
Season's going to open in New Orleans against Florida State Seminoles. You going to watch some football this weekend? You going to watch the championship games?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to watch.
You got a team?
No, I ain't really got no teams in right now, but, you know, the Bengals, you know, got a lot of LSU guys. That's what I'm going for. I want them to win it all for sure.
So you're born in L.A., but you grew up in Shreveport. So do you have an NFL team that you cheer for?
The Saints. I really call them, like, my main team, you know. But
See that?
Yeah.
Saints stink.
That's a guy. Hey, see, that's a guy that's loyal to his home state.
Yeah.
You cheer for the team from your state is what you do.
Sure.
If you live in Shreveport, you cheer for the Cowboys. You'll be much happier.
No,
That's
no.
a
Oh, really? When was the last time the Cowboys won a damn thing? When was the last time the Cowboys won anything?
They got a coach. Their coach didn't just quit because the people drove him crazy. They got a coach.
And they've cycled through 8 coaches.
And you know who's going to be the
Sean
next
Payton's
coach
here.
at the Cowboys? Sean Payton.
Sean Payton's
1 year. He'll
Shut
be
up,
at the
I hate
Cowboys.
you. I'll punch you in the face.
He'll be in
You're
Dallas
gonna get
in
punched
2024.
You're going to get punched in the nose. Can we get Micah up on a roof?
I don't know. Are you scared of heights?
I am. You could say it.
Yeah, a little bit.
We'll get him up on a flat roof.
Like a
How
flat
about
roof.
that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Flat roof.
Just a
That
good
sounds
Good
flat
ladder,
one
flat roof.
with the HUDCO hat on. Yeah.
Take a couple of pictures.
That's it.
That's it.
It's real
no,
easy.
No hammers, no nails. Just wear the HUDCO hat, and we'll take some pictures. Micah Baskerville, a HUDCO hometown hero. We're fired up to launch that program, and happy to have you aboard as well. Thanks for coming in, man. It's been fun. And health and success all throughout your senior year, man.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate that. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.